Hey, Justice Warriors, what is up? It is May 30th. It's Thursday. It's just a little bit after 1 in the afternoon, and I am just so happy to be coming on a live with my people from my studio. Even if my people are mostly or all going to be on the replay, that's fine by me. I have been out of my routine and I'm just trying to get back into my routine. I've been trying to do my yoga routine. So I've been getting a handle on that for my yoga teacher certification. It's a big deal. I'm excited about it. And it's been a lot of work. I mean, I didn't know if it was even going to be possible. Honestly, when I started, I was just like, oh man, I might have bitten off more than I can chew. But I think I got it. I mean, you never want to be overly confident, right? Anything can happen. Anything's possible. So let me start with my little disclaimer. Everything I say is simply my opinion for the sake of hoping to start a conversation, open up a discussion, learn something, be educational. All my videos to date have been made for YouTube. It's an entertainment platform. I have been reinventing the wheel, so to speak, for my channel. Hey, Sherry, love to see you here. I've been reinventing the wheel ever since I started. I like to call it my science experiment. So I started my channel almost 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years ago in September. Like I made my channel the very end of August, a week after Kylie's remains were found. And then I did my first video probably a day or two later. So right around what would have been her 17th birthday, or it was her 17th birthday. It's just that she wasn't going to turn 17, forever 16, right? How are you, Sherry? It's so nice to see you. Thank you for coming in and thank you for saying hi. I hope that the sound is all right. Sound check. I'm constantly moving everything. I told you guys about all that, my studio and my household, and I've misplaced my mics for both of my devices, for my cell phone and my laptop. But I am on my laptop so I can see your chat. I'm good and sound is good. Awesome. Good to know. So I wanted to come on and talk a little bit about the cases that I really enjoy talking about. Right now, obviously, that's Micah Miller is one of those. And there's a lot going on in her case. And tomorrow's Friday. And I don't want to jump the gun, but I'll just go ahead and put this out there. It wouldn't surprise me if there was an arrest made tomorrow in her case. Just saying. They like to do those things on Fridays. So it seems that the situation is imploding or exploding. And I think that, they're trying to keep a tight lid on the information. So at the same time, because there's so much interest in social media, I would think that they're going to do things on the down low, of course. I mean, that's the way the feds always do. I mean, law enforcement in general, but especially the feds. Annie Ruler, yeah, let suspect simmer for Monday arraignment. Annie, you're the best. So nice to see you. I'm so happy to have two people here, kind of unplanned. I know I've been so unreliable. I've been so utterly dedicated to getting my yoga routine down. And then, of course, I had to go switch it up last night. I revised it. I'm trying to make it better, trying to make it more authentic to actual yin yoga and restorative yoga. And so I took out some of the really hard stuff in my routine. So if you are interested in trying the routine, the one that I posted as a regular video last night, so the most recent yoga video, is a little bit easier. It doesn't have the shoulder stand. It doesn't have the happy baby. It doesn't have the plow. And there's one other hard thing closer to the beginning that I took out, but I'm spacing on it right now because I'm really not here to talk about my yoga and I don't have that much time to spend with you guys. That would be great if arrest, hopefully Daybell verdict Friday. Man, yeah. Wouldn't it be amazing if there was an arrest? So, when this Micah Miller case first happened, I just want to say that I think I saw things clearly from the outset. There was not a lot of hard evidence out yet, but there was enough. It's sort of like an iceberg. If you see the tip of it, you know that there's a giant thing underneath the water. You don't have to see the whole thing to know that it's there. And there was just too many coincidences, and the whole case was like too airtight and ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Like, if it sounds too good to be true, it is. And for JP Ultra, as I like to call him, her having that 911 call to say, oh, look, this is me and I'm here and I'm doing it, and it's nobody else that's doing it. That was the most bizarre thing in the world. That was the most bizarre thing in the world. And then, come to find out that lawyer of JP's that's been under investigation with him actively by the federal authorities, that he owns 200 acres of property right there on the river, like right adjacent to the park, that you can get to where her body was located from his property by boat. It's insane, isn't it? I mean, these people, these gaslighters, and the thing about gaslighters, like if you'll listen to Micah Miller's family speak, they're very good, especially her dad, Michael. When you try to talk about the gaslighters, as Micah tried, it makes you sound freaking crazy, especially when you're kind of going on a hunch or you're trusting your intuition. Like I said, if you see the tip of the iceberg and the rest of it's down there, but you don't have video of it, you don't have photographs of it, and the things that these people do are so crazy. They are so crazy. The perps are so crazy. So when you try to articulate what they're doing, it's so unbelievable, it's so off the wall that you sound like you're completely like one flew over the cuckoo's nest. And I always say it's much safer for people to try to believe that the person articulating the madness is in fact the crazy one, because then the rest of the world is safe. If what the person that sounds crazy is saying is true, then that means that nobody's safe. And in cases like Micah Miller's and Kylie Rodney's, I just thought of another freaking similarity right as I was coming on live, you guys. And I see that I've got the Astro from Space. Love to you all. And I don't want to forget what it was. So quick before, let me just spit it out and then I'll catch up with your comments. They're both right by the state line. So that confuses everything. I mean, everything that happened with Kylie happened in the state of California, other than the hot August nights in Reno and the little field trip that Jägermeister and Kate took the news on in Reno. Everything else happened in California. But then you had the jurisdictions of the Nevada County and the Placer County. These jurisdiction things are nightmares. So with Micah's case, you've got that state park, like it's pretty much like on the state line of North Carolina and South Carolina. And I'm just going to take a wild freaking guess that that's exactly why that attorney bought that parcel of land, because it is the oldest trick in the book for criminals, you guys, to live on a state line. Literally. They fall between the cracks. If one jurisdiction is coming after them, they hop over the state line, and then that other state jurisdiction is coming after them, they hop back. I mean, it's nuts. It's like a cartoon, but it's the truth. It's been happening for as long as there's been law enforcement. So this so-called attorney and JP, I can only venture to guess that they're being investigated for financial fraud and, I don't know, maybe money laundering. We know it's got to be financial. for JP and his attorney to be under investigation. Or let's just say it's highly unlikely that it's anything else. Annie Ruler says, I moved to community with yoga, brought Matt, we'll see. Oh, very cool. Very, very cool. I'm just amazed at how much better I feel physically with having been doing yoga for most days for the last 8 months. And it's really showing. I mean, I'm not trying to, I don't even like showing my my whole being on camera, but I've done yoga for you guys on camera in shorts the last couple of days, and that just like boggles my mind. I can't believe that. And I'm okay with it, I think. I mean, barely. But, a year ago, I definitely wouldn't have been doing yoga in shorts in front of a camera in public. I mean, craziness. But mostly it's how you feel. It's not how you look. It's really how you feel. And I know when I go to yoga class, I see all different body types and people in very revealing outfits. And I think it's great. I mean, personally, I have trouble with it. I like to try to, mask things, or, I wear a lot of dark colors on camera. It's just hard. I mean, it's hard to show your bumps, your bulges, your body distortion. The camera really distorts. It truly, truly distorts. So, it's hard enough without a camera. So with a camera, it's even worse. But anyway, my point is that doing it daily has increased my flexibility tremendously. And it's just, I can see a difference. I can feel a difference. It's amazing. And a lot of the health issues that I've had in the past, like knee issues, are completely subsided. So it's a very healing practice, and especially the yin yoga, because it's restorative and it's really about bringing down the stress level, and it's restorative for your entire nervous system. So it might seem easy because you're basically sitting still for long periods of time, like a minute to 2 minutes, but you're stretching your muscles, you're getting oxygen into your bloodstream and to your muscles, and there's just nothing better. You're really communicating to your system that it's safe and that you don't have to be like in that fight or flight alert that most of us, I'd say, in our American society, we kind of live in that fight or flight. There's a great book I read many years ago called Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers, if you've heard of it. I haven't spoken about it in a long time. But anyway, like I said, I'm not here to talk about the yoga, and I just get so excited about it. But I do want to stay on track because I don't have that much longer to spend with you guys. So Astro from Space says, love to you all. And I love the handle. I think I remember seeing you recently. Let's see. Thought that was odd. I'm okay with it. You rock. Lovely. Aw. New med, out of bed more than 3 days per week. Oh, man. So you guys know that I've had a medical crisis emergency with a family member for the last month almost. So that's another reason it's been very sporadic for me in the YouTube. And that's why I've been really focusing on the yoga, because I've been having to really put myself in my self-care as my top priority, which it should be anyway. But, life happens and things get stressful, and it's so important to be true to yourself, take care of yourself, take care of the people around you. And yeah, I have a big family, so, it's a lot. I've got 4 kids, 3 of them living in the house at this point in time. And, I like to say I'm very grateful for the problems that I have, the house being a little full, a little active. It's really hard for me to have quiet for my videos because there's people in other rooms bumping around and listening to music and talking too loud and watching television and dogs barking and all kinds of cray. And it's not so much that I worry about you guys hearing it, because I don't think you do, but it is a distraction to me. So it's nice when I have quiet. And I do have a little quiet right now, but then I do have to get rolling to go to an appointment for one of those things. So let's see. Teal shows wet spots. Annie Ruler. I'm not wearing teal, am I? Do I have teal? I have a really cool teal colored shirt that has like a shirt jacket built in together that I love. And I think it's one of my best things to wear on camera, but I didn't know about the showing the wet spots. I don't know if the khaki green that I have on right now, if you're calling that teal and you're trying to tell me that I have wet spots. If you are, just be straightforward so I can just delete. Oh, Astro from Space, you're so sweet. So proud of you. I love hearing words of support because, as much as I don't feel like I need people's approval, of course it's nice to get it. It's obviously nice to get it. And it's nice when we have our own self-acceptance, of course. That's the main thing. But I've been around for a year or so. We have typed on your channel before. Very cool, Astro from Space. So yeah, you might be one of the folks that is often quiet, and that is completely welcome. Absolutely welcome. I love lurkers. Sometimes I'm a lurker, and when I'm active in a chat, I'm usually pretty active, but a lot of times I'm doing other stuff. So I either am not even saying hello, because once I do, then I get involved. And if I'm trying to do other stuff, then I just have to stay focused. And yeah, the Astro from Space, welcome to Keyboard. Have not seen your name. And Annie is an old, reliable man. Annie Ruler rules. You are not wearing teal. I learned, not with bottoms. Yeah. Khakis are really bad for that too, right? I find black to be the safest, but I like navy blue too. And I love charcoal gray. So sticking with the darker colors and more neutral colors. But anyway, the state borders with not only Kylie Rodney and Micah Miller's case, but also look at Gabby Petito's case, because they were traveling and her remains ultimately were found on national park land, the Grand Teton National Park, which is in Wyoming. But that domestic violence call was in Utah. And again, it makes it easier for like the Moab PD with their $50 million lawsuit against them by Gabby's family. It makes it easier for them to try to distance themselves, to say, well, that didn't happen for 2 weeks and it happened in a different state. So therefore, out of our jurisdiction, not our problem. And we all know that the way law enforcement works is when it's an emergency, it's an emergency. And it's sort of a collaborative effort, like whoever can get there quickest. When you're dealing with parks, when you're dealing with county park jurisdiction, state park jurisdiction, you're dealing with park rangers, and you're dealing with a whole different branch of law enforcement and government. But usually it's the county sheriff that'll just swoop right in because they might be able to get there quicker. Sometimes it's the local, like Truckee police or whatever, the local police departments. Another case with the state lines is the Idaho 4, right? Because we got Pullman, Washington, and Moscow, Idaho right there side by side, kind of opposite ends of the same town. They're just like literally minutes away from each other. And anybody who's been there or lives there currently even knows that it's all kind of considered the same town. Like they even share the same 911 dispatch. But then you've got not only separate city departments for law enforcement, but you have separate counties and you have separate states. And when you cross state lines, you're also in a whole new set of laws potentially, especially Idaho. Idaho is very, very different. It kind of stands on its own. But, North Carolina and South Carolina, I mentioned it a couple of times recently. Isn't that where the Civil War began between the two of them? So, there's a history of discord there and a history of war. So it's going to complicate things. Let's see. You are not wearing, okay. I thought I saw a new comment come in, but I just will replace with that one. That one's funny. So yes, what did I write down here? So hard for me to read my own writing sometimes. So this is a good one. I'm glad I took the time to read this. The water in the river where Micah Miller was found literally was still, right? So she was found like over 100 feet away from where her possessions were, and the gun shell, the bullet casings, and the live round of ammo and the weapon itself. That was all found on the shore bank over 100 feet from where her remains were found. And not only is it still water, in one of the interviews with the father, with Michael, he points out that when the water is moving, which it wasn't at that point in time, it actually flows in the opposite direction. So I thought that was interesting. I hadn't heard that before. I put a link in the description already to watch the Obsessions live from last night. Unfortunately, I missed the live. I would have loved to have been there, but I was able to catch it, the entire thing, on the replay, and it is so good. Kelly is just hitting a home run with this Micah Miller case, and she is probably going to be doing a live on Micah Miller tomorrow night. So anybody who's interested and who likes Watts the Obsession, it's great that she can branch out and do other cases without changing the name of her channel. Because when you change the name of your channel, that's a big makeover, and then people might have trouble finding you. So Mr. Mark is here. Hello, hello. And Sandra Langford. Speaking of lurkers, I was so busy listening, I forgot to say, hey, everyone, how y'all doing today? Yeah, when I was in Shan's live the other night, I went up onto her panel eventually, but for the first 30 minutes or 45 minutes, I was doing all kinds of other stuff. And I was trying to chat a little bit, but I wanted to be in the panel the whole time. I just couldn't until I took care of the business that I had to take care of. Life, it just throws you monkey wrenches left and right, but you do what you can. How are you, Mr. Mark? So nice to see you. And Sandra, did you get your package yet? I hope you did. If you didn't, you should get it soon. Oh, you did. You mentioned it in Shan's live the other night, right? Or was that? Yeah, that was in Shan's live the night before last. You said that you got it. And so it was J.R. Nana Boomer who had claimed the tiniest genie bottle, I called it. She claimed it so that she could gift it to you. That was sweet, wasn't it? So yeah. And you got the earrings. I'm trying to remember which earrings it was. It's always so hard to keep track of everything. But at this point in time, I have everything sent to everyone, and everybody should have received their prizes that they've won. I mean, I love doing it, but it is complicated, and, getting things into the mail, like when I sent you and Shan your gifts, your prizes at the same time, and I crossed my wires and I sent them to the wrong. And that was hilarious. That was absolutely hilarious. I'm okay, kind of, sort of. Dog is great, which helps. Oh, I'm so glad. And you love your hat still. I'm so happy to hear about your puppy dog. Because, yeah, I try to keep up with your videos, Mark, but I have to be honest. I've been having trouble keeping up with everything. And so I catch what I can, and I know it's like they're time limited because you've been, I don't know, privatizing them, if not taking them down, which is fine. I understand whatever your reasoning is behind that, and I know you've explained it, so I'm not questioning that. I'm just saying that I try to catch you live, and I try to catch you on the replay, and then if I miss it, then I'm bummed. So yeah, I'm a mess, Mark says. What? You're doing great, and just hammering away at Kylie Rodney. I love to see it, and I am wanting to do that too. I like to follow my heart and follow what inspires me. So like a lot of these cases don't really inspire me. I honestly like the Daybell case. I mean, it's tragic and it's horrible, the Murdoch case, but they don't inspire me. The way Kylie Rodney inspires me, the way Gabby Petito inspires me, the way the Watts familicide inspires me, Suzanne Morphew. I could go on and on. Meredith Kircher, that old case that a lot of people refer to as the Foxy Noxy case. I like to refer to it as the Meredith Kircher case. But a lot of these cases have so many similarities. And I'd say almost all, if not all, the cases that really inspire me are violence against women. Idaho 4, again, violence against women. Of course, we have Ethan that was not female, but it's hard to know heads from tails with that case, isn't it? Have you guys caught the last few Crime Circus videos? I'm going to put links to those in the description too. It might be a little bit before I can get to it, because when I wrap up here, I'll have to run, but I'll try to get those links right away. Crime Circus has been killing it. I don't know how accurate his information is, but I do trust him. I know that he is a brilliant content creator. He's got all kinds of crazy new crap, especially in the last one. Like that Brent Kopak or something like that. And then the whole thing with the 19-year-old who allegedly was drunk driving and ran into a couple of students in front of Koberger's apartment right around the same time that he might have been leaving that apartment to go off on this alleged rampage. According to Drip Drop, it looks like she was set up. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But like I said, I do trust him. I trust his work. I think he does his homework. I think he's well-intended and that he's accurate, and that, there's always going to be times when a content creator might be inaccurate, and that's okay. You just acknowledge it and, move forward. So I haven't seen enough to know how accurate like his latest video is, but if it is accurate, and I'm assuming that it very well might be, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. I did. That is so sweet. And Mark, why are you a mess? Because of your dog or because not getting a job? You know what I love to say about jobs, and I like to spell it out because it's like a dirty word. The only thing worse than looking for a job is having a job. And the only thing worse than having a job is looking for a job. And I know I'm in the same boat because I quit my job, and, this is kind of what I was looking at as my job. It's what I have been doing out of like a passion project, and I don't want to ruin that. I mean, that's the problem when you start mixing business into your hobby, so to speak. I mean, this has really been a hobby, and I was really fortunate to have a stable employment where I was able to stay on top of YouTube while I was at work. I mean, it was pretty amazing. It was just kind of a dream in some ways, but in other ways it was the most ridiculous job in the world. And unfortunately I have to be highly secretive about it. So I can only say so much. I try not to even bring it up, but I'm no longer under that misery. which means I don't have that full-time paycheck. And, of course I miss the paycheck, but I don't miss the waking up and being gone from my house at 6:30 every morning and being away from my kids and my family 50 hours a week. Like, those things were completely unreasonable. But anyway, let's start getting to the wrapping up part, because like I said, I do have to get to an appointment. So Sherry says, saw Crime Circus. Mama D has covered. Yes. I've been trying to catch up with Mama D. I love her stuff. And she has something that she is talking about, a friend of Kopak's or Kopaka that contacted her. So I've been trying to catch up on those videos, and I haven't caught up with them yet, but maybe I'll put the links to them in the description too. So, yeah. Crime Circus is the one who has the video footage of Kopak having, it's body cam footage of him having interaction with the police several months prior to the SWAT incident. I'm telling you guys not to toot my own horn, but I know what I know. And I don't mind if I'm wrong, like, I'll go out on a limb, and if I'm wrong, that's okay. The day that it happened, I've gone back and checked, and maybe I'll put a link to this too. December 15th of 2022, that same day I made a video saying that there's no way these two things weren't connected, simply based on the close proximity physically, and simply based on the close time frame, like almost exactly 30 days. And then, you come to find out that obviously they both have the same initials, the BK and BK, but that they live really close to each other, allegedly. Whole bunch of crazy. So my point in bringing up that Idaho 4 case is that we are learning that we cannot trust the authorities, right? I mean, a lot of people consider you a conspiracy theorist if you don't trust the authorities, and that's insane. Like, wake up, people. If it seems ludicrous, it probably is ludicrous. So we've had a lot of lies, bald-faced lies, straight to our faces in Idaho 4, in Kylie Rodney, now in Micah Miller. You got to call a spade, and you've got to just be reasonable and just be level-headed and just look at things with common sense, and don't say, oh, well, because the guy's a preacher or because the guy's a police chief, then that means that what he says is the truth, and that means that he has the public's best interest in mind. Unfortunately, we've learned too many times, in some cases, it couldn't be further from the truth. So you can trust yourself, you can trust your instinct, and it's always good to keep an open mind. I think it's always good to question yourself and question if you're jumping to conclusions, but also you're like the only one you can trust, right? I mean, like I said, I trust Drip Drop, I trust Mama D, I trust Kelly, I trust Shan and Ara and Mark and Ninja Chihuahua. But we can all be wrong at points in time. I trust you guys. And I know that I can be mistaken. Of course, sometimes things come out of my mouth wrong, or sometimes I don't have my facts accurate. I try. And when I make a mistake, I always try to acknowledge it in as many places as I can, like the comment section, the description, and subsequent videos. I try to cover all my bases. But I do need to wrap up, you guys. It's 1:45. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for coming into my live. I'm going to be trying really hard to get back into my routine, because I thrive with structure. I thrive with routine. I want to be doing these videos every day at the top of the day, whether that's like 9 a.m. or noon, or if it gets pushed back to later in the day. The reason I like to do things at the top of the day is because if you get monkey wrenches, you still have time later in the day to get to it. So that's always been my theory with whatever my priority in life is. Like when I used to try to swim every day, a lot of people would swim after work because it's time consuming. And I learned if I tried to swim after work and I got a monkey wrench, I wasn't able to get my swim in. So if I swam before work, even though that meant getting up miserably early, it meant that I'd get my swim in, and that if something got monkey wrenched in the morning, I'd still have lunch and I'd still have after work and evening as potential opportunities if it got hosed up at the first time that I tried to schedule it in the day. So whatever it is that I really want to get done, I try to do that at the top of the day, but sometimes top of the day ends up being 9 o'clock at night because, life. And when I had my full-time position, my life was so much more structured and so much more predictable. So, being at home with the family and with all of the gardening that needs to be done and inside chores that need to be done, it just is utter chaos, especially in the summer. So here we are. I'm going to do my best and I'm going to figure it out. And I'm going to say love to you all. Peace out. Sending you light and love. I'll try to read a few of your comments here at the end. Yeah, some deep diving there, Sandra Lankford, and Astro from Space is back. Yeah, Mark, you're awesome. Hang in there. I just love that there's so many people that are so dedicated to Kylie, and it doesn't need to be hundreds. It doesn't need to be thousands. It's like each and every person that feels that her case is a raw deal and that she deserves more justice. I'm just very appreciative that people have the guts to talk about it, the guts to come forward and say, this isn't right. And I wish that people in Truckee were the same. Bubbly covered it also. Very cool, especially Idaho. What was this? Lopak lived way close to BK. Bubbly has him BK on Reddit with Enon in Pennsylvania. Right. I have some old posts of the house that Kopaka owned in Pennsylvania. I've got photographs of it. And then you have the whole thing with where BK's parents live. And then somebody named Susan Payne bought the house right across the street from his parents the day after the quadruple homicide. That's crazy. That whole thing. I mean, we can talk about that more next time. So let's wrap her up here. Always thought the two were related, BK and BK. Trust my dog. Yes, totally. And kids. You can trust kids because kids just tell it like it is. That's the great thing about children and working with kids. Hope you are doing good, chat and trolls and jazz. Yeah. Miss you, but we understand. Well, I miss you guys like crazy. So thank you for being here and thank you for being understanding. Love you, Jazz. So good to see you with Crime Talk. Woohoo! After the judge called Koberger Brent and another day Kopacker. Right. And then there was another one that crossed their wires. Ann Taylor, the attorney, did the same type of thing. These people, and remember, they're all freaking graduates of the University of Idaho. So they're all going to be protecting their alma mater. Is that how you say it? Anyway, where's my thumb? Where's my creepy thumb? I was so excited to show it to you guys because I put it somewhere where I'd have it to reach for it and go, don't forget to hit the creepy thumb. Here it is. It fell onto the floor. Don't forget to hit that creepy thumb. And, please make sure you're still subscribed. Share any of my videos that you like. Turn on your notifications. I just surpassed 600 videos, which is amazing. But I am losing a few subs. So my count has gone to 3,998. And sure, some people might unsub, but I know for a fact that YouTube has unsubbed some of my regular followers. Like Ara, for a while there, she said she had to resub every time she watched a video. And I know I've had that same issue with some of the Squirrel Squad that I have to resub because We all know who the platform is connected to in the case that got us all started and brought us all together. So, love and prayers to you and yours. Thank you so much, you guys. Love and light, and see you on the next one. Have a lovely day. Don't forget to drink your water, eat your protein, your fruits and veggies, get your exercise, rest, be kind to yourself, kind to others, and don't go chasing unicorns. Actually, do go chasing unicorns. All right. See you soon. Have a great day.